So first off, disclaimer, I'm not saying that I agree or I'm not saying I disagree with anything the government does. I'm just telling my point of view as an American who grew up here in the Midwest and decided to join the military once he was old enough. Now, first off, I will start with why I joined the military. My father always told me since I can remember, son, the world is much bigger than Kalamazoo, Michigan, so you need to get out there and experience it. The main reason I joined the military is because I wanted to leave my hometown. Since I can remember, have always hated fall, winter, and spring. I have only ever liked summertime. I only like warm weather when I can walk around outside and be in shorts and a t-shirt and just be chilling. I have never liked putting on sweaters, coats, walking around in the slush with a hood up like this. I have never enjoyed that my entire life. So my number one thing I wanted to do was leave my hometown. That was the only goal I had graduating high school. Now, I will start with some things that I disliked about the military. The whack part about going into the military is you have to go through boot camp. Boot camp was whack. It was garbage. You didn't have a phone. You didn't have anything. You were just there and you were stuck doing exactly what they told you to do. You never had the freedom to do anything you wanted to do whatsoever. It was only what they said and it was by the book and it was every day, all day. And piggybacking off that, there is no such thing as free time in your early stages in the military. Boot camp, no free time whatsoever, don't even think about it. When you're in A school, which is the school you go to before you go to like the actual military fleet, there's not really much time there either, and you're kind of stuck training for your job. But once you get to the fleet, it's more like a regular job and there's free time. But at first, there's no free time whatsoever, no me time. It is only time with what you're working towards in the military. Another thing is you never get to see family. I left for the military and I went about 10 years where I didn't come home. Or maybe I came home like once a year for maybe like 2 weeks, but I spent all my time gone. I never came back. Another thing is the small living conditions. It wasn't bad living conditions. Everything was just really small. From the point where you're in boot camp, you only have a rack that's 3 by 10, I think. So 10 feet the long ways and 3 feet the wide ways. And you could open it up and then you had all your clothes in there and that was the only space you had. Another thing was the food. Food is whack. The food is super whack. When you're on the ship, the food is whack. The food at the chow hall on base was whack. The only time the food was good, awkward enough, was in boot camp. The food was fire. They had turkey legs, they had meatloaf, they had mac and cheese. I don't know who was cooking back there, but it was chef's kiss, low key. Another whack thing is deployment. Going on deployment in the Navy, you're on a ship and you're just on the ship for 30 to 60 days at a time and you're just there floating around in the middle of the ocean. I worked on the flight deck, so I was just standing there on the flight deck. Deployment was not fun at all, but it was a good experience, but it was not fun at all. Another thing that was really whack were duty days. Duty days are horrible. So let me explain to you what a duty day is. At all times, there needs to be someone on post. There has to be someone watching the ship. At no point does the military just have a time off and everybody's gone and then they reopen at a certain time. No, somebody is there 24/7. Duty days go as followed. 1 week, Monday. Next week, Tuesday. The week after that, Wednesday. The week after that, Thursday. The week after that, Friday. And then the week after that, it would be Saturday and Sunday. And on your duty days, you are confined to the ship. You cannot leave. So you are stuck there for 24 hours during the week and 48 hours during the weekend, which when you're a grown man and you're in a city like San Diego and you're just there and you're stuck on the ship and all your friends are out having fun in the city, it's not cool at all. And I will finish it off with the last point I think is whack. In the military, just because someone has more time in than you, that pretty much automatically gives them seniority, superiority over you. No matter how qualified you were, if somebody had more time in than you were pretty much stuck to doing what they told you to do. All right, let's switch gears now to some of my favorite things about the military. One, it forces you to leave your hometown. That is the #1 step to any type of success, I believe, is leaving your hometown, get uncomfortable, learn new things, learn new environments, learn new places, learn new skills. 2, structure. It gives you a base on a way to be more productive, waking up early, having all your things in order. It also gives you discipline on top of that. Yeah, it's whack that people are over you and they're yelling at you and telling you what to do, but if you don't have the discipline to sit there and be able to take when somebody's just yelling at you and telling you what to do, you won't have the discipline to do anything in life. Another thing, you can take college courses for free while you're in the military, and while you're in the military and when you get out of the military, they will pay for you to go to school. Student loan debt is one of the highest debts in the entire United States, trillions of dollars. The military will literally pay for you to go to school, and you don't have to pay anything. They will pay 100% of the cost of school. Another thing, you get to travel. And it's not like traveling where you just get to go and hang out, but because of the military, because of the deployment I went on, I went to Hawaii for a week. I went to India for a few days. I went to Perth, Australia for a few days. I've been to Dubai twice before I ever traveled there any other time. I love traveling, and the military was the first thing that put me out there to even see what the world looks like. Even if it wasn't the way that I wanted to travel, I still have been to other countries, been overseas because the military took me there. Another thing, you get paid regularly. Now, people be broke, that's for sure, because you're so young, but you learn how to manage your money eventually, and you're also getting a for sure paycheck, and they pay for your living expenses. So they pay for your house or your rent, or you just stay on base and you don't have to pay any rent whatsoever. It may not be ideal, but not having to pay rent or a mortgage is the biggest cheat code in all of life, because that is every single person on Earth's #1 big expense most of the time. Now this right here is by far one of the best things about the military. You get to meet people from everywhere. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I was hanging out with people who are from all over the United States, all over the world. We had people in the military from the Philippines. We had people from Latino countries like the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. We had a lot of Vietnamese people. We had people from literally everywhere, all walks of life. And because of the military, you get introduced to these people and you hang out with them and you actually build friendships. And now I have friendships with people who I consider my absolute best friends, and I literally love to death because of the military. I can contribute the man I am today to the military. It took me out of my hometown. That is so important. It introduced me to friends that I now have done business with and gained so many connections. It's paying for me to go to college. It was the first thing that took me overseas for me to ever see that there's a different world out there besides the United States. I mean, the list goes on and on and on the benefits of joining the military. Now, I know the American dream means something different to everyone, but my personal American dream was leaving my hometown, doing something where I could gain a skill that would be valuable in the workplace, getting the opportunity to go to college and not pay for it at all, traveling, even though it's not the definition of traveling you think it is getting out and seeing the world one way or another. And I know a lot of the times I talk about how the United States is this and the United States is that, but that doesn't take away from the fact that the military was still, to this day, one of the best decisions I've ever made, because it opened the door to pretty much everything I'm doing now. And if you're in the same boat that I was when I was 19 and I wanted to get out of my hometown and I didn't know what to do, and I just knew that there was something more out there, but I just didn't know how or what or where or any of that, the military was the thing that showed me that, one way or another. Thanks for watching.